Welcome to a new Scary Tuesday, TikTokers. This time around, we visit once more the terrifying universe of Japanese spirits. Have you noticed the obsession they have with restrooms? They are a common setting in Japanese urban legends. And today, we'll share with you one of the most famous ones, the legend of Akamanto. This legend is so ingrained in Japanese pop culture that it has appeared in many different manga, books, and movies, gaining popularity even in other countries. It's the horrifying story of a female spirit who dwells in the last toilet of the women's restroom. If you bump into her, you need to be careful with the toilet paper you choose, because that could be the very last thing you do. Her name means red cloak in Japanese, and its origin is difficult to pinpoint. The first images of this character appeared at the beginning of the 20th century in the middle of the Showa era, Japan's era of enlightenment. Around 1935, they said that a very handsome young man wandering around covered in a red cloak used to hide in the lockers of Osaka's elementary schools. Later on, in 1940, the legend transformed the man into a vampire who terrified the neighbors in a neighborhood in Tokyo. Over the years, it became vague if the figure was a man or a woman, until the 80s, when the legend started getting popular again among young people and was then given the figure of a woman. The legend then became that Akumanta was a student when she was alive, subject to constant humiliation by her classmates. And once dead, her goal became getting revenge on the rest of the world for the humiliation she had to endure in her school's restroom. However, why did this legend become popular among Japanese students? Well, because of the bloody game that Akumanta subjects her victims to. This spirit will always look for the person at the last toilet of the line, and the legend says that once you're finished doing your business, a sinister voice will ask you, red or blue paper? After asking this, 2 rolls of toilet paper of those colors will appear. And we're sorry, but there's no right answer. Choosing any of them will lead to a horrible and painful death. If you choose the red one, Akamanta will appear and will tear out your neck skin. She will do it little by little so you can feel the pain while you bleed to death. That's why the roll is red. And if you choose the blue roll instead, she will grab your neck too, but will strangulate you slowly until your face becomes blue. Other versions of the legend say that if you choose blue, Akamanta will cut off your legs and you will slowly bleed to death. In any case, your suffering is assured. If for any reason you decide to say a different color, a hole beneath you will open towards some kind of underworld where white hands will grab and drag you into the absolute darkness. And if you can't speak or decide not to respond, time will stop around you, and you will be eternally trapped in the restroom. Trying to escape or running away will not work either. If you try, Akamanto will materialize before you, blocking the exit and also ending your life. Trying to avoid her will be futile, since they say that when she appears, the restroom becomes completely blocked in an alternate dimension from which it's impossible to get out. It seems useless trying to escape such a horrible apparition. Akamanto has a clear objective of ending the lives of its victims, and will stop at nothing to achieve her ends. That said, a few sources say that it is possible to save yourself. For instance, some say that if you calmly respond by saying that you don't need any paper, then there will be a small possibility that Akamanta will spare your life, depending on the mood she's in at the moment. Others also claim that if you answer that you want yellow paper, the spirit will spare your life, but will then shove your head into the toilet as revenge. That is a less painful destiny, but a pretty nasty one nonetheless. In any case, TikTokers, remember that if you ever go into a public restroom in Japan, it's best to never use the last toilet of the line. Who knows what might be waiting